energy.
Yes, indeed. And another day, another clean energy plan. Despite the misleading vocab, the government is determined to unleash what it describes as a tidal wave of jobs in the sector, which sounds rather alarming. Much of this is to rubber stamp the so-called spending review, but in reality, it represents the reworking of the net zero plan. Now, though Ed Miliband continues to bang the drum for his solar panels and wind turbines, it's increasingly clear that nuclear power is to be given a more central role as the government finally concedes that it cannot force the sun to shine at night or indeed make wind turbines turn without wind. Now, one of the beneficiaries in terms of funding is Tokamak Energy, shown here, which is to embark on a joint venture with the Japanese firm Furukawa Electric Group, and they will take a slice of the £2.5 billion being thrown at fusion energy technology. On the nuclear fission front, Sizewell C has been pushed on, but with limited fanfare. And the reason for the muted announcement are because they show up the push for so-called green or clean renewable energy as totally absurd by any metric. Now, it's reckoned that Sizewell will make a grid contribution of around 3.2 gigawatts, which would be equal to around 7% of the UK's current demand. And a few weeks ago, I spoke about the creation of another of Miliband's brainchildren, GB Energy, which is hoped to deliver 5% of the UK's energy by 2030 at a cost of over £8 billion. Now, the comparison could hardly be more stark. Sizewell should cover an area of less than 1,000 acres, and it will deliver a stable supply of energy around the clock, whereas GB Energy, conversely, may require more than 100,000 acres to deliver an intermittent supply of energy, which at its peak will still be less than that delivered by nuclear at Sizewell. Now, this all indicates that the narrative is collapsing, and in a mark of desperation, Emma Pinchbeck of the Climate Change Committee is adamant that a financial nudge is needed to move people onto clean technologies by artificially dropping the prices of energy from such sources and then loading taxes and tariffs onto so-called fossil fuels. Now, Pinchbeck's proclamation is set against what might be regarded as a record-breaking calculation from the World Weather Attribution of the recent summer weather in summer. They've said that due to man-made climate change has made such events about 100 times as likely, occurring in June only once every 2,500 years before industrialisation. And to reinforce the point about the desperation, the government has rather sheepishly back down from the much vaunted foisting of smart meters upon the population. This month marked the cut-off for the old-style RTS meters, but this has been quietly extended with no deadline. The announcement says that they will, quote, pursue a phased approach, beginning with a very small number of homes and businesses in carefully targeted local areas. And I would say all of this just goes to show that resistance to these sorts of meritless and controlling schemes does work, and that you, the people, hold the power, literally.
Yes, okay.